All right, we're going to get started with a public power hour, and we've got one person that has reached out to us, and it's always a pleasure to have this young lady with us. I want to ask April Jordan if you would come forward. And April, if you would, just state your name and address for the record, and then it's all yours. Okay. It's great to have you with us again.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Yes, Thank you, Mayor, and council members. My name is April Jordan, and I am the Director of Outreach at the Cumbie Center. The Cumbie Center is located, our office is located at 254 Beaufort Street Northeast in Aiken. We are a nonprofit agency that serves victims and their families of domestic violence and sexual violence in 6 South Carolina counties: Aiken, Allendale, Barnwell, Edgefield, McCormick, and Saluda. And so we stay busy. We have lots of services that we provide, from a 24-hour crisis hotline to crisis intervention. We have case management services, counseling, lots of outreach, awareness, and education activities. And that is the reason why I requested to come up here to share with you guys. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have many things going on during the month. On Friday, October 6th, we have a professional conference that's going on to learn about the effects of domestic violence as well as the best practices for all of our community partners, but it's also open to the public. This is a free virtual event, and if you'd like more information, you can reach me at ajordan@cumbiecenter.org. Also during the month, on Saturday, October 7th and Saturday, October 21st, Cumbie Center will have staff and volunteers who are holding signage in front of Odell Weeks in Aiken for a few hours. It's sort of like a picketing awareness event with these wonderful signs that some folks have made about domestic violence. Then on Saturday, October 14th, we will have our annual chili cook-off, which is an awareness event. It will be a time for the public and the community partners to come together and connect. And we've got a bunch of chili cooking teams. We need a few more, and would love to have any of y'all participate, whether that be with personal groups that you're involved with, churches, businesses, county, city offices. We'd love to have you. And then, wrapping up, one of the biggest reasons that I am here is also to touch base with all of y'all about the fact that we will have our purple awareness ribbons or bows adorning Georgia Avenue for the entire month of October. And so what you will see up and down Georgia Avenue are our purple ribbons as well. It will have an information card that's attached to it that gives a little bit of information about the Cumbie Center and what we do, as well as our phone number. And you'll see some news coverage as well as posts about this with pictures on our social media, Facebook and Instagram. So we appreciate you having us here, and always a pleasure to be able to share this information about this public health crisis.
Got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
Now,
please.
are y'all participate? Are you there once a week with Community Ministry of North Augusta?
Yes, we are.
Is it once? Because I was at the annual banquet just last week, and Tammy was just talking about your organization and how you're always available no matter what. Yes. Y'all been a really nice resource for them.
Yes,
which is a good resource for North Augusta.
Yes, absolutely. We are involved with CMONA. We have one of our case managers who is dedicated to that area, so that provides services through CMONA, in our office going over there sometimes. Yes.
Let me ask you this: do you have y'all considered having a booth at the Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee in North Augusta? You know, that's going to be the last Saturday of October, and you're talking about 15,000 people. And again, I just throw that out to you if that's something, you know, as far as you're trying to get the word out. It might be, with October being the purple month, you may want to consider that.
Yeah, that would be great. I do not have information about that. We have many tabling events that we are being a part of, especially in our awareness months, which are 3 months out of the year. So.
Jamie can get you that information.
Yeah, Jamie, please email that to me. I appreciate it very much.
A lot of exposure is the point I'm trying to
Yeah,
get.
yeah, we do tabling events. Those are a great way to get out our information. We have several brochures that we always share during that time, which is our general brochure gives sort of an overview of what we do, but we also have a very important one. It's called our personal safety plan brochure, which a lot of people find helpful. There's a lot of steps to take, paperwork to gather when victims and survivors are taking those next steps.
Very good.
Any
other
other
questions for
questions?
April? Thank you for what you
Okay.
do. It's a good cause. Appreciate it
Yes.
so much, April, for your
Yes,
time.
thank you very much for
you.
having me.
Yep. I think everybody else is here for the 6 o'clock council meeting, so I'm going to just keep it open for a few more minutes in case some citizens do show up before we close this out. So. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta regular City Council meeting for September the 18th, 2023 to order. It is, wow, what a great crowd. It's good to see everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, we ask for you to give us the guidance and discernment needed to make decisions for our community. Help us to listen to each other's perspective on all matters. Help us to respect the concerns from citizens as we strive to honor you in our role as elected officials. Amen. We have quite an honor. We have Troop 7, who is out of Grace United Methodist Church, and this is an incredible Boy Scout troop. The number of Eagle Scouts that come out of this troop is pretty phenomenal. I mean, this is an incredible Boy Scouts. I love scouting. I was a Boy Scout and Eagle Scout myself. So it is an honor to have them here. They are going to be listening in for the whole meeting to help toward one of their merit badges they need to have. But we are going to, I'm going to turn over to the Scoutmaster, and they've got 4 of their seniors who are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're able, please stand with us as Troop 7 leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, our roll call, starting from my left.
Eric Presnell.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Jennifer McCauley.
David Buck.
Okay, approval of minutes. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the City Council meeting minutes of August 21st, 2023? The special call City Council meeting minutes of September the 7th, 2023. The special call City Council public hearing and meeting minutes of September the 11th, 2023, or the study session minutes of September the 11th, 2023. Hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Thank you. Okay, we've got a number of different proclamations. So, we're going to start off, every year we give a proclamation for Disabilities Awareness Month, and we give it to basically the Tri-Development Center, which is an incredible resource for our community. They do amazing work with a number of young adults and adults. They actually work and they generate a product. It's just phenomenal what Tri-Development does, and we're very thankful that they're here in North Augusta. But tonight, the folks that really are the backbone, they're the ones that are leading and teaching and training these young adults and adults with disabilities, are the workers, the care professionals. And so I'm going to ask these ladies if they would come down and meet me right here in front of the dais as I call your name. Miss Tawanda Bateman, Miss Gracie Bennett, Miss Karen Millage, Miss Tanya Rainey, Yvonne Reese, Joanne Rice, Debbie Simmons, Jenny Tyler, and Markeisha Wise. I'm glad we do this each year because I love to see your smiles. And for our council, to personally thank you for what you do. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. So I'd like to read this proclamation to you. Whereas direct support professionals, including direct care workers, personal assistants, personal attendants, in-home support workers, and paraprofessionals are key to providing publicly funded long-term support and services for millions of individuals with disabilities. And whereas direct support professionals arrive for work every day ready to do all they can to ensure the health and safety of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism, providing essential support that ensures all individuals are included as a valued part of their community, supported at home, at work, and in their communities, and empowered to live with dignity that all people deserve. And whereas direct support professionals assure that individuals with disabilities thrive through connections to their families, their friends, and communities, thereby avoiding more costly institutional care. And whereas providing a broad range of individualized supports from navigating the routines of daily home life, job training, financial matters, medical appointments, and personal interests to provide transportation to work, school, religious, and recreational activities, and keeping people with disabilities safe and healthy during the pandemic, and volunteering to quarantine with individuals serve to reduce transmission of the virus, direct support professionals must build close, respectful, and trusting relationships with the people they serve to empower them to fully participate in their communities. And whereas increased awareness and recognition of direct support professionals can help alleviate the critical and growing shortage of these important healthcare workers in the Palmetto State, now therefore I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim September the 10th through the 16th, 2023 as Direct Support Professional Recognition Week in the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, and urge all citizens to honor our direct support professionals for their dedication, contributions, thus enhance the lives of individuals of all ages with disabilities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 18th day of September 2023. Help me give these ladies a round of applause for what they do. Miss Lauren Hammond, come on down. Lauren is the boss of one of our local South Carolina Daughters of American Revolution groups, and they just do an amazing job here in this community with a lot of charities and things. But anyway, it's nice to have you with us again. And what I'd like to read to you, Lauren, is a proclamation for Constitution Week. Whereas our founding fathers, including South Carolinians Pierce Butler, Charles Pinckney, John Rutledge, and Charles Coatsworth Pinckney, risked their fortune and some even their lives to secure the blessings of liberty for themselves and their posterity, did ordain and establish a constitution for the United States of America. And whereas September the 17th, 2023 marks the 236th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas the anniversary of the signing of the Constitution provides an historic opportunity for all Americans to learn about and recall the achievements of our founders and to reflect on the rights and privileges of citizenship as well as attendant responsibilities, and whereas the independence guaranteed to the American people by the Constitution should be celebrated by appropriate ceremonies and activities during Constitution Week, September the 17th through the 23rd, 2023, as designated by proclamation of the President of the United States of America in accordance with Public Law 915. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim September the 17th through the 23rd, 2023 as Constitution Week in the City of North Augusta, South Carolina. And we urge all citizens to reflect this week on the many benefits of our federal Constitution and the privileges and responsibilities of American citizenship. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 18th day of September 2023. Lauren, thank you so much for all you do. Let's give a round of applause. Now, for you scouts, you couldn't have picked a better night. A little history tonight. That's great. Okay, Miss Tanya Strickland. Where is she? All right. We weren't sure this young lady would be with us tonight, so you're able to make it. So we're so glad. Whereas, as polluted water released into our local creeks, streams, and reservoirs and rivers can cause harm to human health and wildlife, contaminate our drinking water sources, and threaten the ability to take part in recreational water activities, and whereas population growth, residential, commercial development, and the resulting changes to the natural drainage and hydrology of the land will only deepen our concern for stormwater quantity and quality in the city of North Augusta. And whereas the most common source of pollution to our water resources is stormwater runoff, that includes yard waste, pet waste, vehicle fluids, trash, and sediment. And whereas these impacts cannot be entirely avoided or eliminated, but can be reduced with the use of education, outreach, and change in everyday pollution prevention practices. And whereas our stormwater management department is equipped to aid in the development and implementation of effective educational and outreach programs in connection with other municipalities and organizations within the CSRA that will meet state and federal stormwater pollution control requirements. And whereas this need arises from regulatory requirements, but also from the local community members, residents of our city, and local stakeholders and decision makers that will benefit from a greater awareness of the cumulative impacts our decisions make at home, at work, at school, and through local policy affect the water quality of the Savannah River and our local water resources. And whereas this year, 2023, marks the second annual Stormwater Awareness Week sponsored in the city of North Augusta. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, the mayor of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week of September the 24th through the 30th as Stormwater Awareness Week in the city of North Augusta. And I urge all citizens to pay tribute to water resources and to recognize the impact we can have to protect and preserve the water quality our creeks, streams, reservoirs, and rivers, and the quality of life brings to our city. In witness whereof, I have unto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 18th day of September. Tanya does an incredible job for us. Thank you for what you do, what Michaela does, your team. Y'all are behind the scenes, but so vital to what you do, and you gave us a great presentation recently, so we thank you for that. Let's give her a round of applause.
I'd like to mention we have a lot of activities that week, and you can follow our Facebook page, the City Public Information page, to learn about all the different activities that will be taking place during that week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. All right, I'm really excited about this. Miss Linda Humphreys, come on up. Linda is the sister of a gentleman who we are giving a proclamation in memory for, Don Rhodes, and I'm gonna read about Don in just a second. But for the folks who know Don Ramlin Rhodes, I think Don he just was a sweet man. There was nobody when anyone that Don met, he just made that individual feel like you were so important. I know he did that for me. And it was interesting, the last time, we had Millage Murray and John Phelak and Don, they held an event up at Lookaway Hall a number of months back, about 3 or 4 months before Don passed, and talking about Lookaway Hall and James U. Jackson's brother. But anyway, I was thinking at that time, and I told Don and Millage this, if you look in this area, these are right now, Don Rhodes, Millage Murray, Kelly Zier, maybe Lark Jones, and maybe Wayne O'Brien. But we have only a handful of people at that time that really know the history of North Augusta, that can literally explain it to you. And, and I told Don, I said, we need to get y'all on video talking about this. And unfortunately, his passing, but we still got Millage, we got Kelly and Lark. But we've got to get these folks who know the history of this community, not just 100 years ago, but in the last 50 years. We've got to get that so people can remember. And some books have been written, but Don was so vital to that. Yes.
I was his unofficial editor.
Okay. And Don's latest book, which he gave to everybody on council, and I've got it in my office, a lot of little snippets about North Augusta. Some of you scouts, y'all would love this. It's very informative. I think it'd be really neat. But anyway, everybody, we love Don Rhodes. And what I like to read and give, and I've got one for both of your other siblings, okay? We'll give you Larry and Jan. So whereas Don Rhodes, longtime North Augusta resident, passed away on June the 9th, 2023, and whereas Don was originally born in Gainesville, Texas, however, considered North Augusta as his home. He graduated from the University of Georgia School of Journalism in 1967, where he was hired by Morris Communication Company as a police beat reporter for the Savannah Evening Press. And whereas Don transferred to Augusta in 1970, where he covered politics and entertainment for the Augusta Herald and Augusta Chronicle, until 1993, when he transferred within the Morris Communications Company family-owned business to the Corporate Communications Department. And whereas Don served as a publications editor of the Morris Communication Company and publications manager of the National Barrel Horse Association and the Augusta Futurity until his passing. And whereas Don was known nationally for his music column, Ramblin' Roads, and observed its 50th anniversary in October 2020, he also served as the board of directors for the Augusta Museum of History, Arts and Heritage Center here of North Augusta, and the Heritage Council of North Augusta. And whereas Don has been the historian of the Jesse C. Lynch Memorial American Legion Post 71 in North Augusta, and was made an honorary lifetime member of the Augusta Genealogical Society. And whereas Don was a noted author that published 9 books, including James Brown's Say It Loud, Ty Cobb's Safe at Home, and most recent stories about North Augusta. And whereas Don could always be counted on for research knowledge for projects, exhibits, historical markers, and presentations, he had numerous music associations which included entertainers such as Brenda Lee, Dolly Parton, Becky Hobbs, the Judds, and locally James Brown, Flo Carter, and the Lewis family. In addition, he was friends with Sharon Jones and was instrumental in naming the North Augusta Amphitheater after her. And whereas Don Rhodes was a special friend to all who knew him, his love for North Augusta and its history was evident in his life. His dedication, literary efforts will be live on for generations to come. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, on behalf of the citizens of North Augusta, hereby proclaim Don Ramblin' Rhodes' dedication to the city of North Augusta and its citizens as a final tribute to Don Rhodes. Thanks for the memories. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand to cause the seal of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 18th day of September 2023. We love Don Rhodes and just thankful that we had an opportunity to see the impact he's made in our lives. So this is for you. Thank y'all so much. Yes, ma'am. Be good. Okay. All right, we're moving to new business. Planning and Development Ordinance Number 2023-15, adopting the North Augusta Development Code, Chapter 18 of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina Code of Ordinance, providing for new zoning, land development regulations, updating the citywide zoning map accordingly. Let me just preface this by saying, since we had so many comments between ourselves at our council study session and the comments at the public hearing, I believe we need to send this back to the Planning Commission with all the input we received along with staff responses for them to respond to this information. Once they have discussed it, then they will send it back to us. And I'm going to ask Tommy to give the Planning Commission feedback in another study session for council so we can specifically tell him which amendments to the code we want to change or add prior to a vote. So I'm going to make a motion as mayor to table ordinance number 2023-15. Is there a second?
Second.
A second, Ms. McCauley. There's no discussion with something is tabled. I did want to just give a preference of why. So with that being said, all in favor of tabling this ordinance? And that is unanimous. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next new item business, number 7, administration, resolution number 2023-33, advising the city administrator how to respond to Greenstone NG LLC concerning a proposal for the sale by Greenstone NG LLC of the property generally known as the Medak building to the city. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Ms. McCall, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Buck. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Are there any citizen comments? Okay. Where's that? Let me get my dates here. Do I want to read this? This thing actually says. Okay, all right. Let me just add this, and because I was reading that, it kind of struck me. Basically, for this ordinance, this resolution, advising the city administrator how to respond to Greenstone concerning a proposal for the sale by Greenstone, property known as the Medac Building. It is therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of North Augusta, meeting duly assembled by authority thereof, have determined that the city would not enter into a purchase contract related to the Medac Building, and it's further resolved that the city administrator is hereby directed to notify Greenstone of the city's appreciation for the offer of the property for purchase by the city, but advise Greenstone that the city will not be pursuing the purchase of such time. So, I just want to make sure I understand what we're voting for. I will tell you, we discussed this in executive session. That is confidential. However, if there's anything that has come up from council that you feel like you need to share now, since then, this would be the time. If not, I will be asking for a vote. Okay, hearing none, I will ask for a vote. All in favor not to purchase the Medac Building from Greenstone and give the city administrator the notification to let Greenstone know that. And that is unanimous. Okay, thank you. Okay, item 8, resolution number 2023-34, authorizing multiple expenditures from Fund 36 ancillary to the Regional Solid Waste Transfer Station project. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Ms. Carpenter, thank you. Who was that? Mr. McGee, thank you, sir. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. On this action, you've had a previous action for the Department of Energy settlement funds for the transfer station in the amount of roughly $200,000, and that came out of the principal of that amount. What I'm requesting today is a draw of interest, so we would not be pulling out of the principal, but that money that's sitting in the local government account is just like any other kind of savings account, draws interest over time, and so there's some interest that can be drawn, and what we want to do with that interest is to buy ancillary items and projects associated with the transfer station and right next to the MRF. So ultimately, there's a list associated with that shows the equipment that we're looking to purchase. The total amount is $795,000, so it's not to exceed that amount. If anything comes in less that amount, then that'll roll back into the fund for future disposition by the council. And I'll pause for any questions.
And we did realize that we can do that, so we're good on that.
That was coordinated both with Senator Young and the County Treasurer, Jason Goings.
Okay. Ms. Jim, if you don't mind, and maybe Rachel can, it might be helpful if, we've talked about it in the past, but if you kind of maybe tell everybody a little bit about what is the what we're going to do with the transfer station, and kind of just how is that, we just have completed the MRF, but maybe just for all the, for the citizens at home, just how's the transfer fit in with the MRF, and what are we trying to do collectively with all this, if you don't mind?
Sure, I certainly can. It's my pleasure. Along with changing the way that we do curbside collection, as you all know, we now collect trash separate from recycling. What we've developed is a clean MRF where all recyclables go. Secondary to that, we'll have our transfer station where all trash goes. So whether it's a City of North Augusta truck or a partner truck, someone that contracts with us, they'll pull into our operations facility. They'll go up the driveway, and if you're going to drop off recyclables, you turn right at the MRF. Once we've got the transfer station up and running, if you have all trash, you'll pass by the MRF and you'll go on to the transfer station. In both instances, the trucks will tip their loads, and then they will drive away and continue on their business. City employees then will process either at the recycling facility or at the transfer station. At the transfer station, since we're all fairly familiar with the MRF, since we've just recently gone through that project and the public information about it, The transfer station will be fairly self-contained with just a couple of employees, and we can reassign a couple of our employees. After the loads are tipped onto the floor, we will use, I apologize, I don't know the official name, a really big piece of equipment. A front end loader. And we will scoop all of the trash into a transfer truck. So we will have large transfer trucks with very large roll-off containers, and once full, we will then make the trip to the landfill. So the benefit is we'll have a very large truck that will make fewer trips to the landfill than each of our individual trucks making the trips, or some of our business partners may find it cheaper and easier to bring their trash to us to then take everything out to the landfill.
Okay, very good. Good money maker for us. Thank you. That's a wonderful job. Okay, are there any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, item 9, resolution number 2023-35, provide a local match for Municipal Association of South Carolina Hometown Economic Development Grant. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution? All right, Mr. Presnell, thank you. Second? Ms. McCauley? Okay. Anything you'd like to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is an MASC, Municipal Association of South Carolina, sponsored grant for the amount of $25,000. And essentially what this resolution is requesting the council to earmark funds out of the Capital Projects Fund to be the city's match should we win the grant. We've applied for this grant in all the years that I've been here. We haven't received it as of yet, but hope springs eternal. And so ultimately, if we are the winners of this grant, that would require a $3,750 contribution, which could come out of the Capital Projects Fund or could be partially deconstructed based on in-kind work from city personnel, depending on the way we move forward. So ultimately, we as a staff do not want to obligate the city council to funds that have not been previously apportioned. So if this is your action to choose whether to set aside those funds, and if those funds are not used or if the grant is not received, then we'll release those funds back into the Capital Projects Fund.
Okay, very good. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion?
I have one
Yeah.
quick question, Jim or Rachel, whoever. If we were to get this grant, what would we use it towards, or do we have something specific?
We do. I'm happy to answer that. And Carl's here for this item and the next in case there are any other questions. The plan has always been, since the chamber moved into the community center, to renovate the small conference room at the back of the community center into a business area, an economic development room. We envision a high-end boardroom, fully teched out, very similar to how we have our council conference room. We'd love to be able to have virtual meetings, have the capability to bring in business partners and give demos of facilities, whether it's for us or for the chamber. And so these funds will outfit that room, everything from paint to technology, any of the furnitures and fixtures. You're welcome.
Any other discussion? All right, here now, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 10, Parks, Recreation, Tourism, Resolution Number 2023-36, authorizing the City of North Augusta to accept the low bid from Kenrick's Construction for the Riverview Park dugout replacements, Field 1 and 2. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution? Mr. Presnell? All right, Mr. McGee, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Going through the procurement process, we had a number of bidders on this project, and we had previously budgeted $60,000. And the low bid received was $77,352. So what is before you is a resolution for funding that includes the additional bump of $17,352 to close out the difference, which would allow us to move forward with Kenrick's Construction in the amount of $77,352 for the dugouts.
Any citizen comments? Any council discussion?
Yes. Carl, and why was Field 1 and 2 chosen?
They were original dugouts from late 70s, early 80s. They
Okay.
I was going to ask Carl if they could give us a brief description of what we're expecting to get.
Carl, how about do me a favor, if you don't mind, as I was about to say, I was going to repeat, if you don't mind, Ms. Carpenter asked why dugouts 1 and 2, and then you can answer that, and then Councilman McGee just asked you about a little background. So if you speak in the microphone, everybody on TV land can hear you.
Councilman Carpenter, our dugouts, there were some of the original dugouts when Riverview Park was built on, so those were chosen. If you remember, those were the cinder block dugouts that we had up there, and they're really small. And honestly, their structure has started to fail a little bit. So those were chosen. We've got a couple more we'd like to get done in the future as well, but those were the most in need as far as being safe for the kids and general public to be using. Mr. McGee, so if you're familiar with Tower 3, when Riverview Park was renovated in 2011 or so, they're going to be very similar style to what you see on Tower 3. Concrete floor and open air chain link fabric going around the dugout. And they'll be a lot bigger. I know both of y'all coached in those dugouts, and man, you probably hit your head on those roofs. So they're going to be a little bit taller. Instead of the 7-foot entrances, they're going to be about 9 foot for the entrances, and which is needed as well, and open air as well.
I was just hoping that the citizens might have an idea of what their money's going to.
That's a great question. Yeah.
All right, so like the entrance into the dugout would be a little bit wider than what it currently is?
Absolutely.
Some of them can get kind of tight, I know.
Absolutely. They're going to be redesigned to kind of
What
mirror
about
what's on the-
electricity?
I'm sorry?
That you can plug a fan in, electricity.
There is power going to those dugouts now. We plan on.
Oh, it is? Okay.
There is. Yes, ma'am. But there really wasn't much purpose in it because we just
Yeah.
kind of turned into a hair dryer in there.
Yeah.
Just recirculate that
Yeah, I
hot
want
air.
to dry my hair when I'm in there. Okay.
Lack of a better term, but yes, ma'am. There will be power for opportunity there. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, Carl? Good job, sir. Thank you. All right. Any other council discussion? Okay. That one, ask for, I've already done, yeah. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? Unanimous. All right. Any administrative reports?
I'd like to defer those to Ms. Rachel Moody.
I do. I have 2 updates I'd like to provide for you all. First, regarding sanitation. I would like to report some good news in that we currently have no open positions posted in sanitation. Probably within the next couple weeks, we will have, knock on wood, everyone fully on board. So we appreciate everyone bearing with us, as not only North Augusta, but nationwide, sanitation, recycling departments have really struggled. So we appreciate everyone's patience. Please continue to let us know if there's anything that we've missed, but we're doing our best to get fully staffed and back on board. The department's fully aware, and they're looking forward to being fully staffed as well. The other item I wanted to present to you tonight is a grant that we're about 99% sure that we've received. It's pretty unorthodox grant award process, but I would like to share with you all. Back in May, it was a joint application between Stormwater and Property Maintenance, and we applied for an urban tree canopy expansion grant. It's federal funding that was part of some of the Inflation Reduction Act, and we thought, well, this is unique funds for planting trees, and the minimum award request was $100,000, and I was very naive, and I thought, I don't know how the heck we're going to spend $100,000, but between Stormwater and Roy, they put together a grant application requesting $459,301. Last Thursday morning, I happened to see a news article on AP News, and they'd announced the awards. And I thought, well, I guess I'll see who won because we didn't receive an award notification. And sure enough, we're listed there. So between myself, Roy, Michaela, and Tanya, we've been in contact with the USDA. It is the Forest Service that's providing the grant. And while we've not received an official award notification that says the terms and the conditions and all that good stuff, We did receive a generic email that said the awards had been posted, and it sent us right back to that public website. So we are fairly certain that we've received an award, and we are so excited. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. More information will be forthcoming once we know the terms and conditions, but there are 3 areas where we will be planting trees in the public right-of-way, 256 trees total. The first will be a half-mile stretch adjacent to Knox Avenue. There's currently, the walking path. That's over there. The trees will be placed there. They will also be planted on a 0.4-mile horseshoe at Austin Street and Weston Street in the residential neighborhood directly adjacent to North Augusta Middle School and Summerfield Park. And also a 3/4 of a mile stretch of East Buena Vista from Atomic Road to Riverside Boulevard. So these locations were chosen strategically based on the tree canopy study that we had done last fall that you all remember. So they were so excited to be able to take that data and apply it towards this application. And I do believe that's part of the reason that we received this grant. This is an incredible award for us to receive. So understand that this project won't get underway until the beginning of next year. It will be in a 3-phased approach, and I'm going to refer to the grant application here. The first phase will be along Buena Vista. Phase 2, the Knox Avenue, and then phase 3 will be Austin Street and Weston Street. So this is going to be a really large project for us. It'll be done in combination of in-house, private partnerships, and maybe some interns. But it's a great joint project between stormwater and property maintenance, and we're really excited about what can be done.
I mean, we're on a roll right now with these grants.
I know. Be careful what you ask for.
Keep it going. Keep it going. That's awesome. That's great news. That's awesome. Exciting. Thank you for that update. All right. Anything else on your end? Okay. We're now at item 12, presentations, communication, and recognition of visitors. This is the time citizens may speak to mayor and council regarding matters not listed on this agenda. If you're interested, I'd just ask you to come forward, state your name and address for the record, and this is an opportunity for you to talk to council. Okay, I've got just about 4 things I want to highlight, so anybody for the good order, Eric, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I had a couple of things. I just want to say, Miss Hammond, thank you for being my teacher. I don't know if you remember me from Paul Knox. Me and David were looking at each other. He said, "Is that Miss Hammond from Paul Knox?" I said, "Yes." So thank you for being
I'm sure
our
she
teacher.
remembers y'all.
Well, I don't know. And I see we got
think that was funny.
the Boy Scouts here. So, guys, thank you for coming. And this is probably an answer for your leader. Do y'all ever need, like, wood chips to make fire starter with? Well, if y'all need, see me after the meeting. I do a lot of woodworking in my garage, and my planer, I've got plenty that y'all are more than welcome to have. But I also wanted to say, thanks for the Boy Scouts for coming out. And, I never made it to Boy Scout. I was a Cub Scout. I made the little soapbox car, but good job, guys.
Anybody else? Pat? You sure?
I'll slip something in.
You can, yeah, of course.
I was just, do you know how long Troop 7's been in existence? Over 100 years. I didn't, because I was in Troop 7 in about 1957. And it's been there, and I have a lot of great memories. Yep. Another question, Camp Linwood Hayne, is that still used?
So Camp Linwood Haynes still exists, but it is leased property now. The Boy Scouts leased out. We have been gifted a large area at the lake, so about 2,000. We now use Camp Robert Knox, and that's our local camp of residents now. So we go out to our summer camps and stuff. That's Robert Knox out in Lincoln County.
So the boys will be prepared. One of my greatest memories was a camping trip at Linwood Hayne that we had planned extremely well. The temperature got down to 2 degrees, and we were in tents on the ground out there. So it was an interesting night.
One of my most interesting summers was as a staff at summer camp at Linwood Haynes. So that's a lot of memories there. But just to let you know, yes, a couple years ago we celebrated our 100th anniversary as a troop. So we have been in North Augusta and a part of North Augusta for well over a century now.
That's awesome. We thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
amazing.
thank y'all.
All right, just a few things. third Thursday's coming up this Thursday, and let you know about the ribbon cutting at our newest downtown establishment, the Town Square Olive Oil. If you have not had a chance to get by there, you need to. That'll be at 5 o'clock. The chamber will be having that ribbon cutting. I suggest you visit it. Arts and Heritage Center is having a big fundraiser on the 29th here, which is going to be fantastic. So go on their website for that. This Sunday, for the first time ever, the Ironman is going to start in North Augusta at Amphitheater. They are going to jump into the water, and the swimming is going to start here in North Augusta. They'll go down to the 5th Street Bridge, run the race in Augusta, and finish there. But this is the first time that we've had it in North Augusta. And I want to thank our city administrator, Jim Clifford, did a lot of legwork on the front end, and our Parks and Rec folks stepped in after that. So it's nice to kind of have that exposure. And then the last thing is I just want to thank all the volunteers who helped. We were able to keep the mayor's cup this year. We had the most volunteers for the trash bash. So we beat Augusta, so I'm excited about that. And next year, Troop 7, we need your help, Troop 7. Next year, we can tie it in with the merit, with a merit badge somehow. Yeah, we're still working on that. But anyway, with that being said, thank you all for being here, and we stand adjourned.